please.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this hybrid meeting of the Angus Licensing Board. I'd like to remind all attendees that this meeting is being recorded and webcast live on the Council's YouTube channel. I would also remind all remote attendees to mute their microphones when not speaking unless they wish to speak, and they should do so by raising their hands remotely. Can I also remind remote members attending this hybrid meeting where quasi-judicial matters are being considered that they may not participate by audio only and must have their video and camera functions switched on at all times. Apologies for absence.
As convener, there's no apologies this morning. We've got Councillor Brace, Councillor Durno, Councillor Scott and Councillor Whiteside join us remotely. The rest of the members are in the chamber.
Thank you. So item number 2, declarations of interest and statements of transparency from any members. I see none. I have one declaration of transparency that I would like to make in relation to item 7, report 2925, specifically the Glencadam Distillery. I had a conversation with Lauren Oliver whilst I was at the Glams Extravaganza. However, this was on a personal nature in relation to their facilities, and I'm happy to continue within this meeting. So the next item is number 3, appointment of a vice convener. So the board is asked to appoint a vice convener in terms of the Licensing Scotland Act 2005, Schedule 1, paragraph 6, brackets 5. Are there any nominations? Then I would like to nominate Councillor Louise Nicholl, seconded by Councillor Meehan. Are there any further nominations? Nope. Then I would say that Councillor Nicholl has been appointed as the vice convener.
Councillor Durno.
Sorry, Brenda. Councillor Durno.
That's okay. I was just going to say that if Louise was too busy with all her other commitments, then I would quite easily step in to help out. Thank you.
Thank you. That's appreciated. So we're happy to accept that Councillor Nicholl has been appointed as the vice convener. Does the board agree? Yep. Wonderful. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is item number 4, the Angus Licensing Board membership. With reference to Article 6B of the minute of the meeting of Angus Council on the 26th of June 2025, the board is asked to note that following Councillor Stewart's resignation, Councillor Gavin Nicholl has been appointed as a member of the board. Do we agree to note that?
Indeed.
Thank you, and welcome back, Councillor Nicholl. Item number 5, minutes of the previous meeting. These are for approval as a correct record. The meeting of the minute of the board held on the 15th of May 2025. Does the board agree to note this?
Agreed.
Thank you. Moving on, item number 6, provisional premises licence applications under the Licensing Scotland Act 2005. And first we have Asda Express petrol filling station in Montrose. Good morning. So we have Mr. Niall Hazard and Cara Strang attending in person here. So if you would like to talk to your application, then we'd be welcome to hear that. Thank you.
Good morning, Convener. Good morning, Your Honours. Yes, I intend to address you on 3 principal matters. I'll give you the briefest introduction to the applicant, but I'll focus more on the forecourt convenient strategy, which is the genesis of this application. I then have to take you through, unfortunately, the excluded premises test, which is the market research. I'll try and do that in a sensible fashion rather than page by page, line by line. And then, hopefully, if you're with me in relation to the excluded premises test, I can give you a little overview about how the store operates from a due diligence point of view. So starting with the background, whilst Asda has for a long period of time had petrol stations, you'll perhaps be familiar with the large out-of-town sort of superstores. They have the petrol stations, some of them are self-service, etc. This isn't what we're talking about here. These are standalone forecourts, and this is a fairly recent move by Asda, and it forms part of a rather large acquisition. So the site at North Esk Road in Montrose forms part of a £2.3 billion acquisition by Asda of some 400 petrol filling stations from the Eurogarages group. The 400 aren't, of course, all in Scotland. They're across the UK and Ireland. There's some 24 petrol filling stations in Scotland. And Asda have basically decided that they want to add a new string to their bow, and the strategy sees them acquire these petrol filling stations and then on a rolling basis convert them into Asda Express, which is the Asda convenience model. They upgrade the facilities, move away from what Eurogarages had, and seek to bring together fuel, convenience. And I suppose it's important to stress we're talking about a proper bona fide convenience store here, so fresh, frozen, larder, household, and often foods to go. And in doing that, they seek a small complementary alcohol offer to go alongside that convenience. So from the 24 petrol filling stations in Scotland, Asda commissioned market research, as they're obliged to do under the terms of the Licensing Scotland Act, to establish whether the premises were excluded premises or not. Provisional premises licence applications have gone forward for most of the stores, but again, I think it's important for me to stress not all of the stores have been applied for. And quite simply, that's because upon conclusion of the market research, some of the stores did not meet that test. Some of the stores were in areas where there wasn't any local reliance on those stores. And I'll look at the test in a wee bit of detail just now. So the excluded premises test comes from the legislation, and I suppose it's important to point out it's also been quite heavily glossed by the courts in some key decisions. But effectively, what the applicant must demonstrate in order for Your Honours to consider a licence application is that they are not excluded premises. And they do that by conducting this market research to identify whether or not there is a recognisable number of persons in the locality who, as a matter of their general day-to-day, treat the shop premises in question as either a principal source of groceries or fuel. And it's very important it's not both, and I'll be absolutely candid with you, it's never, in my experience, groceries that it's the principal source of. To meet the test, almost exclusively with these, it is a reliance on the petrol filling stations for fuel. And that's the case for the Asda petrol filling stations that I've been involved with. This is probably my 12th or 13th application, different boards, but certainly even historically when I've done other petrol filling stations, it is almost always a fuel reliance which meets the test. A couple of other points. Just generally, the courts were quite clear that in judging the reliance, it doesn't have to be absolute reliance. The existence of an alternative doesn't mean that people won't be inconvenienced, and really that is the test for reliance here. It's people feel that if they weren't able to use the facility for, in this case, fuel, then they would be inconvenienced to have to go somewhere else. And really that's what the market research by Taylor Mackenzie is about, is trying to establish whether there is a significant, recognisable number of persons, should I say, who feel that they would be disadvantaged if they weren't able to use this particular store. Taylor Mackenzie, you've probably had reports from them before. If you've had any petrol filling station applications, it's almost certainly a Taylor Mackenzie report. They are the preeminent market research company in this field. And the good thing for me, and I think for the board, is that the reports are very accessible. And really, in terms of the test, they've got a useful executive summary within them. I'll go through the executive summary and a couple of other key points in a second, but I think it's important to stress that when I talk about market research, this is actual boots on the ground, in person, speaking to customers who are using this particular premises. So for this premises, the market research, which is collated, the information is collated on page 5 of the report, happened between the 1st of October and the 12th of October 2024. And then when we look at that executive summary on page 2, what you see is that in terms of persons interviewed who lived locally, and by locally we're talking about people who live within a 1 mile radius of the store, so that's quite tight. You know, we are really looking at local people here. There were 65% of people using the store lived locally, and from them we see that in terms of the population of interest, some 19% of those people would be disadvantaged in their own view if they weren't able to use that premises for the purposes that they currently use it, which is principally for fuel. A couple of other key points just to point out. This in-person market research, there were 517 people interviewed. Now, the way in which the market research is conducted is that it's one hit, one miss. And by that I mean they won't seek to engage with every single customer who's entering or exiting the store. This is in order to randomise the sample. Obviously, in addition to that, to get 517 people, I can only imagine how many people have actually had to approach, because I don't know about your honours, but certainly if I'm busy going about my day to day and someone approaches me with an iPad and asks me to take a survey, I've just filled up my car, I'm probably going to say, no, I'm really sorry, I'm quite busy. So to get 517, generally speaking, in my experience, is a good sample size. And then ultimately that population of interest I referred to, the local population, was 100 people. A couple of other points before I move on to how ASDA actually operate. In terms of the locality, it's only relevant for the purposes of the study if they live locally. And what we've said is anyone that lives more than a mile away, in our view, isn't local. But when you look at page 8 and they actually geomap the population of interest, you find it's actually a much closer catchment, and it takes people into 0.57 miles. So there is, in this case, in my submission to the board, very much a local use of this particular store. Finally, on page 25 of the report, you'll see what people assess as the disadvantage that they would experience. There's some open-ended responses on page 25 where people say, it's my closest one, or I like the store, it's got good range, so on and so forth. So in my submission, the market research absolutely meets the excluded premises test, and therefore I believe the board can consider granting a licence to this store. Should the board be minded to look at granting a licence here, I'm sure you're very familiar with ASDA generally, so I'll just trot through what you'd expect to see here. So the proposed alcohol display frontage on the layout plan, the consideration has been given to where that's located within the store, and in all the stores I've been involved with, it's either been directly in front of or directly adjacent to the till and away from the point of entrance. And that's the case here. So you see from the layout plan, it's nearest the till, just to the staff members left. That, in addition to the CCTV, which of course is there, means it can actually be supervised by physical members of staff. They can see who's approaching the alcohol, so on and so forth. All of the alcohol is on display. There's nothing behind the counter. It's all accessible. But again, it might be of interest for members to note that no spirits or high-value products will actually be on the shelves. There is a fixed tablet which will show any product range. So if there's a bottle of fizz or any spirits, that will show the customer what's available, and then they order and pay for that at the till, and it's retrieved from a stock room. And again, that's just sensible management to stop the potential for someone lifting something of high value and trying to exit with it. In terms of the premises, it will operate as you would expect with a full weight of ASDA's practices, policies and procedures. So that's all of the training policies, and the site has full digital CCTV. I would suggest at petrol filling stations the CCTV requirement inside and out is very high for obvious reasons. In terms of the site itself, Challenge 25 is already in operation because of other age-restricted products. The till system is synced with those age-restricted products, so it gives the automatic prompts and has the refusals logs, etc., within the electronic till system itself, which means it can be made available at request remotely, even if that's necessary. There would be at least 2 personal licence holders attached to the store, more likely 3, but the minimum will be 2. And finally, again, I think some boards have found this interesting, as does a matter of routine, engage an external test purchasing organisation who come in unannounced and they audit the Challenge 25. So whilst these individuals are not 16 or 17, they all have to be 18 or over, they are people who are 18 or 19 but look 18 or 19, and effectively they go in on the basis to audit anonymously and report back on the operation of the Challenge 25. And for the avoidance of doubt, it's a disciplinary offence for any member of staff who doesn't offer the Challenge 25 doesn't engage Challenge 25. So in closing, I think my summary is that it meets the excluded premises test based on the market research. This is definitely a convenience store by ASDA with a complementary alcohol offer. And what you have here is a very responsible, well-known operator who I don't think will have ever caused your honours any issues or concerns, ASDA that is, in the past. There's no objections, no representations or adverse comments to the application from any party. And on that basis, I'd move the grant of the application subject to any questions you have, either on the market research or on the substance of the application. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Hazard. Can I ask, are there any questions from any members? Councillor Clark.
Thank you, Convener, and good morning, everybody. Mr Harris, thank you very much, and I do agree with your market research. That having tried it before myself, it's not the easiest thing in the world. Just in terms of, you've explained it very well, and I've done my reading here. I'm just thinking of young people serving behind the counter. Now, this happens often at nights in particular, or Mistrang, I mean, whoever, sorry. That often worries me when you've got far too young people. They may have reached 18, but they might be on their own. So I would just like to be comforted with that you're going to be very, very careful with that.
Sorry, I was just taking instructions to clarify what I thought was going to be the answer. So firstly, there are no under 18 staff. So all the staff are over the age of 18, and within this particular store, there's no one that works on their own. They're always working in 2s, 3s or more. So hopefully that gives you some comfort. But yes, absolutely. Because of the nature of the environment, with it being a petrol station, with it already dealing with age-restricted goods, and also obviously with security around the petrol, diesel, drive-offs and things, security is very much front and foremost of Asda and the petrol filling station's mind.
I think that's very important, Convener. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from members? No?
Just do yourself, Convener. It's been pointed out that delivery conditions are suggested by the LSO. I wonder if you can just address members on that.
Apologies. Yes, the conditions are absolutely accepted, and whilst there's no immediate plans for delivery of alcohol, obviously it hasn't happened because we don't have a licence. Certainly there's no difficulty. Asda has, throughout its other stores, other convenience stores and through its supermarkets, tried and trusted delivery policies, which the conditions present no difficulty with. They're all going above and beyond that.
Councillor Nicholl, a question?
Kind of clarification. It says Monday to Sunday. Is Sunday included?
Yes, it's 7 days.
It's just the way it's written down.
Thank you. Anyone else, any further questions before we move on? No. Thank you. Members will see that there's also a licensing standards officer report. So in that, I would invite Mr. Leith to go through that. Thank you.
Thank you, Convener. In relation to the application, there's nothing further I can add. I would have highlighted the delivery conditions, but Tina's done that for me, and the hours requested are within policy, so I've got another further to add in the report. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Mr. Leith. I'm just going to refer to legal. There's an item about the excluded premises. If you can maybe just go through that for members' benefits, please.
Of course, Convener. So the legal test, as referred to by my friend, is encapsulated within section 123 of the Licence in Scotland Act 2005, which states at 2, for the purposes of this Act, excluded premises means that to be subject to subsection 5, premises used as a garage or which form part of premises which are so used. So that, as a starter for 10, excludes the garage. However, there is an exemption in 5 which indicates, despite that section, premises used for the sale by retail of petrol or DERV or which form part of premises so used are not excluded premises if persons resident in the locality in which the premises are situated are or likely to become reliant to a significant extent on the premises as the principal source of petrol or DERV or groceries. So that's why I suggest my friend has referred to the market research to satisfy that exemption.
Thank you for that. Are there any comments from members in regards to this application? Councillor Meehan.
Thank you, Convener. Just to say, on looking at this application, I have no issues with it, and I will be looking to grant the application.
Thank you. Councillor Braze.
Yes, thanks. I'm very familiar, of course, with this location. I think the market research does show that an exemption can be applied, and I would see no reason why we shouldn't grant this. It's a well-run facility, and that's the way the thing's going these days. I don't see any reason to refuse.
Thank you. Are there any further comments? No. In that case, first of all, we need to just agree or not whether this is an excluded premises before we can then move on to decide whether we wish to grant the licence or not. So, Councillor Brace, is that an old hand or? Okay. So, are the board members happy to exclude this as an excluded premises before we move on to deciding?
Agreed.
We're agreed with that. And then in that case, I would seek motions for or against. Sorry, in fact, before I do that, we'll ask the applicant to sum up.
Conscious of a busy agenda and I've gone on at some length, so I'll rest my submission with the previous comments.
Thank you. Councillor Whiteside, I saw your hand first.
Yeah, thanks. I move that we grant the licence subject to the remote conditions.
Brace?
Well, I'll second that. Thanks.
Thank you. Any further motions? I see no hands. In that case, it's been granted.
Thank you. Obliged.
Thank you very much. Give you just another moment. So the next item is home bargains, again presented by Mr. Hazard with Michael Clark. Sorry, Michelle. Michael?
Sorry, Convener, a last-minute substitution. Some of the directors have come up from down south, so Michael is otherwise engaged. However, I'm ably being assisted by Corey Ann Peters, who's the store manager from the Forfar store just across the road.
Lovely, thank you. In that case, I'll ask you to again talk to this application. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I'll again just briefly trot through who the applicant is, give you a little bit of background. I'll then touch on the genesis of this application and what has led to it. So the applicant here is TJ Morris Scotland, TJ Morris Scotland Limited, who trade in Scotland as Home Bargains. Home Bargains, big operation UK wide, have some 600 stores and about 82 in Scotland. Application came forward due to the new proposed home bargains in the Arbroath retail park, and interestingly, not only are home bargains going into that retail park, but TJ Morris are actually developing it. So ultimately, it's going to see something in the region of about £10 million investment by TJ Morris. So they'll bring in other tenants, etc., so on and so forth. My original submissions when I was first instructed were very much geared around the fact that this was going to be a complete resite from the Unit 16A Abbeygate Shopping Centre on the High Street, so effectively closing that store down, moving all the staff across and everything else. However, I'm told more recently that actually there's a proposal to keep the existing store and therefore it would be even greater financial impact and economic impact. So half the staff would remain in the existing store, half the staff would then move in as experienced members of staff to the proposed new store, and they would then seek to employ in the old store and in the new store, creating something could be upwards of 30, 40 jobs, which I think is quite significant. In terms of home bargains and in terms of the application here, I would like to think that they trade without difficulty in their current store and they've not caused your honours or any of your honours officials any issue whatsoever. And in terms of this the new proposal, although the alcohol display area is larger than the current store, that simply follows because the new store is twice as big, and therefore it's consummate with the actual ratios, and those ratios work out on average about 2 or 3% of the total display is given over to alcohol. So quite often licensing solicitors such as myself will make comments about alcohol being ancillary and a small part. Quite literally here, 97-98% of the retail space is not alcohol, it's just that 2%. In terms of the scheduling, with a fair wind, they're hoping that the new store could be open as early as the 18th of October of this year. So again, very, very positive. Due diligence, Home Bargains target that in all of their stores in Scotland to have 3 personal licence holders working within the store, and there should always be personal licence holders rotated on shift during the alcohol sales times. That's what they endeavour to do, obviously allowing for illness, holidays, so on and so forth, but they take it very, very seriously. It's limited. If you've ever been in Home Bargains and looked at the alcohol offer, it is very limited, and largely throughout the year it's concentrated on wines, beers and ciders. They do, however, over the festive period tend to stock gifts, and some of those gifts will include a little miniature, so on and so forth, you know, a miniature whiskey with a glass and that type of stuff. But generally speaking, it is an ancillary wines, beers and ciders offer. In terms of training for staff, very much at the upper end in my submission of retailers. Their core alcohol licence training is refreshed a minimum of once every 12 months. And all those training records are kept and made available should Mr. Leith or any of the other officials want to see that. Again, I think you'd come to expect CCTV, Challenge 25, till systems, but I just want to give you that assurance that it's all there. And similar to the previous case I explained about the independent test purchasing, Home Bargains also engage in that. So again, they have a rolling programme of people going around ensuring that their Challenge 25 is in operation and providing independent, anonymous audits of that. Against that backdrop, and having had to hastily scribble across some of my notes about the current store closing, I think it's an even better application now that there's the potential that both stores could trade happily together. I would move the grant of the application on the basis that there are absolutely no objections, no adverse comments. You've got a good operator known to you who operates a current store without difficulty, and this is a significant development, very much being driven forward by TJ Morris. So I'd commend the application to you. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Hazard. Can I invite any questions from members? I see Councillor Durno.
Yeah, thanks, convener. I just wanted to ask, is the store in Arbroath's alcohol area going to be any bigger than the one in Montrose or Forfar, or will it just be the same? Thank you.
The new one is about twice the size of the existing one, but by way of explanation, that's because the store itself is about twice the size. So ultimately, in terms of the ability to stock a wider range and offer greater choice, they're able to do that because of the size and footprint of the store. But what I would say is, in terms of the proportion of the store given over to alcohol, that sits very much, if the alcohol's about twice the size and the store's about twice the size, the percentages are still around that 2-3%.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions from members? No, thank you. In that case, we'll move on to, as you'll see in the papers, we've got comments from both Building Standards and the LSO, so I'll go with the LSO first.
Thank you, convener. Yeah, nothing further to add to my report. It's for on sales and the time, sorry, for off sales and the times requested are within board policy, so nothing further to add to the report. Thank you.
Thank you. And Building Standards.
Yes, thank you, convener, and good morning, everyone. Our comment in this case is just a courtesy comment, just as a reminder to avoid any delays for the full application that a completion certificate is required. But because it's provisional, we actually have no comment.
Thank you. Any questions for either the LSO or for Building Standards from members? No, I see no hands. In that case, if I could ask for you to sum up on your application then, please.
Again, with your indulgence, I'll just leave my submission as was, unless there's any further questions or any other input I can offer.
Wonderful, thank you. In that case, I would invite motions from members. Councillor Meakin.
I would move that. Sorry, I would move that we grant the application with any conditions.
Seconded. I saw Councillor Clark first, so I'll take that seconded from Councillor Clark. Any further motions? As the board agreed? Agreed. Thank you. Thank you.
Obliged. Thank you.
Now we'll move on to item C of item 6, the Bothy Larder. And here we have Ian Sargison, the agent, and attending remotely we have Karen Bruce from the Gin Bothy.
Yes, good morning, Councillor and Convener. Hello. Can you hear me okay, just to check?
Yep, I can hear you, thank you.
Great. And I wonder if Karen Bruce, who, as you say, is joining us as an employee and the newly proposed premises manager of the premises, if we could perhaps do a sound check in case any input is required.
Hi, I've put a video on as well. Is that okay?
Thanks. Wonderful, thank you. In that case, if I can invite you to talk to this application, please.
Yes, of course. I wonder if the councillors and convener have had the chance to consider our written representations submitted last week.
Yep, we received that by email. Can I confirm that all members received that and have had the chance to take that in? Yep, thank you.
Thank you. I will go through the background nonetheless and add on any points and answer any questions where relevant. So the applicant is Gin Boffey Limited. And my first comment is that at the time of submitting the application, their registered office was a previous registered office that has now changed to the Boffey Distillery in Angus. So any part of my motion today will be on the basis that any licence granted today will reflect this change in address. Now, the application is for a premises licence in respect of the Boffey Larder, which is on Lochside Road in Forfar. The purposes of this licence is to allow for the off-sale of the applicant's own brand spirits and other craft and specialist alcoholic refreshments. In particular, the applicant offers spirits including gin, rum and whisky. Now, as I say, this application was initially submitted some time ago in September 2024. There has been some movement to the situation since that. Now, at the time of the application being submitted, it was being submitted on the basis that it was for a full premises licence. And at that time, a Miss Lynn Finlay, who held a premises licence, a personal licence for the applicant, was noted as the proposed premises manager. Since that, Miss Finlay has left the business. And whilst a suitable alternative premises manager was being located, we as agents for the applicant wrote to the board asking for this to be treated as a provisional licence. Since that, again, just last month, Miss Bruce, who joins me on the call today, has had her own personal licence granted and would be considered suitable as a premises manager. So against that backdrop, my submission today is that Miss Bruce is in all respects suitable to act as a premises manager in respect of these premises. The application being initially submitted as a full application fulfills all the criteria for the granting of a full premises licence, and an appropriate fee was paid on that basis. And it's in the interest of all parties in terms of expediency and expense for the application to be granted as a full opposed to a provisional licence. I should add to that previously and up to date, the premises have operated under a series of occasional licence, most recently under reference finishing 9140. This dates back from 2nd November 2023, when the first occasional licence was granted. Since operating in this manner, the applicant, or I understand the board, have not received any complaints regarding how trading activities have been carried out from the premises. The premises themselves comprise of a single-storey unit that's used for retail purposes only. It is accessible by the public through a pedestrian door at the front. There is also suitable access for those with disabilities, either through that door or, if required, for example, by using wheelchairs and mobility scooters, through a separate loading entrance that can be used. So this application is for off sales only. More specifically, it's required to fulfil the retail purposes regarding the sale of their own brand spirits and other liquors. I submit that the timing sought, being 10 to 10, 7 days per week, fall within the council's policy. And other activities include small taster samples of alcohol offered free of charge. To confirm, these are offered free of charge, and they will be stored in a display accessible only by staff of the applicant. The application also aims to facilitate online sales, whereby customers will place and pay for orders by means of a website that will then be packed and collected by couriers or, depending on the locality of the recipient, through local deliveries by staff. There will be recorded music playing for customers and staff within the core licensing hours as well. Now, I or the applicant do not anticipate there being any issues arising on a day-to-day basis in light of the nature of the applicant's products and the size of the premises. That said, the applicant has got appropriate policies in place to ensure that the licensing objectives are upheld, including by appropriate training and operating a Challenge 25 policy for all sales. So to summarise, my application, my motion today will be to grant the premises licence on a full basis, with my friend from the business, Miss Bruce, being appointed as the premises manager, and with the application having been amended to reflect the new registered office as the Boffey Experience. I would absolutely welcome any questions on this.
Thank you. Can I ask, are there any questions from members?
It was just to check, to clear up, are there any issues with the provisional full, changes?
Of course, Councillor Wicken, thank you for your question. This application was originally consulted on as if it were a premises licence, so we do have the Section 50 certificates and all consultees have been contacted, so there's no difficulty with this proceeding as a premises licence application rather than a provisional premises licence application. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions for the applicant from members? No? In that case, we'll move on. There's a report from the LSO, so if I can invite Mr. Leith.
Thank you, Convener. Thank you. As highlighted by the applicant, this premise has been operating on occasional licences, and so far I've not received any complaints with regards to that. I would also highlight with the home delivery as an activity that the board consider the delivery conditions for the licence, and I'd also note that the current operating plan that's been submitted currently has, is it Lynn Finlay noted on the operating plan, so that'll have to be changed to the new proposed premises manager, Karen Bruce. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Leith. Any questions from members for the LSO? No, I see no comments. In that case, I'll invite any comments from members. Councillor Nicholl.
I was going to wait to say I thoroughly think this is a good place, and we should grant the permission.
Thank you. Councillor Clark.
Well, alongside yourself, Convener, I'm a local member and have nothing but praise for this business so far. I welcome this new piece of news from them, and that's great to hear. And I would go so far as to say, LSO there with the home delivery, the changes in the operating plan, I would wish to move that this should be granted.
Thank you, Councillor Clark. I believe legal have a comment.
Yes, it's just for members when considering the application, just to note that you're considering the amendments to the application as per the written submission. So whether or not the delivery conditions are acceptable, perhaps should be confirmed with the applicant.
Mr.
Yes,
Sargent.
of course. Apologies. Yes, of course, no problem with the delivery conditions.
Thank you. Are there any further comments from members? No, I'll put my own comment in as well. Similar to Councillor Clark's as a former member, I've experienced the Gin Bothy shop. It's really, really good, and it's a welcome addition for Forfar. If I can ask Mr. Sargent, if there's anything you'd like to sum up with your application?
No, nothing to add.
Thank you. In that case, I'll invite members for motions. Councillor Nicholl.
I propose that pass.
Councillor Clark.
I second it, Chair.
And does that include the home delivery conditions?
Yes.
It does, Chair.
And the amendments to that Tina had pointed out
And the
to?
amendments.
and the written representations?
Yes.
And everything else.
Yep, we're all happy with that. Is the board in agreement with that? Yep, great, thank you. In that case, the licence is granted. Thank you.
Obliged. Thank you.
Okay, everyone, thank you. We'll move on to item number 7, the premises licences, request to vary under the Licensing Act 2005. And we will start with Ruse Leap, 2 Trails Drive, Montrose. So if I can invite Mr. Fraser and Mr. Beattie to come and take a seat. And when you're ready, if you'd like to just talk to your application, please. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you, Convener, and good morning, Your Honours. It's my pleasure to propose this variation application to you this morning. I think the Ruse Leap is probably known to the majority of you. It's a long-established restaurant in Montrose, opened in 1984, so it's been there some time. Its layout is mainly laid out in the first floor of a building on Trail Drive. It's a family-owned establishment, strong local reputation, family-friendly venue, and I can introduce this application to vary the licence by just characterising it as adding function space to Ruse Leap. The adjacent building recently became available for purchase. This was formerly the Mercantile Golf Clubhouse. This ceased operating around the latter half of 2019. And was acquired at the start of 2020 by the same ultimate owners as Ruse Leap. It consists of 3 function rooms, as shown on the layout plans. Since the acquisition, restaurant customers of Ruse Leap have already been able to use space in the outdoor area to the rear of the new building, and the internal space has been used for some functions, albeit all of that's been covered by occasional licences, things like funeral teas and things of that nature. The intention behind this application is to regulate the position regarding the use of the new building by extending the existing licence of Ruse Leap to cover it. It will all be operated under the same management, and the same Ruse Leap staff will work in the new function space. Following the initial application, objections were raised by Building Standards and Environmental Health. We engaged in dialogue with both stakeholders, and I'm pleased to say that we've reached agreement on how to proceed. As a result of that dialogue, revised layout plans and an operating plan were lodged at the start of this week, and I hope that Your Honours have those documents available to you. Largely, the revisals relate to putting in accurate capacity figures for the new building, mainly to take into account fire safety regulations. Ruse Leap had previously secured a variation to its layout plan to allow for a first floor balcony to be constructed in the event that construction did not proceed, and so the variation also updated these layout plans to remove that extra facility so that the plans accurately reflect what the position actually is with the building at present. Matters are now agreed with Building Standards, save for an escape route issue which is going to be dealt with during the building warrant completion certificate process. These changes between application and today also resulted in a reduction of the total capacity of the building, which needed to be reflected in the operating plan, which is why a revised version of that was lodged this week as well. Quick word about the operating hours and other activities. Of course, this being a function space, that's going to operate slightly differently to the restaurant space. So the proposal is to move the hours 1 hour later, commencement time and closing time, but all the while staying within the 14 hours that appears in the board's plans. And of course, we're adding some activities which are more appropriate in the function space, including things like dance activities. Now, on that basis, I would commend the application to the board for its consideration, and I'm of course happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you very much. Can I ask if there are any questions from members? Councillor Braze.
Yes, thanks, Convener. And this is maybe more a point of clarification and a question for officers. I note that, you know, that they're applying for licensed hours, but it's also in the papers that they want to be serving non-alcoholic beverages and food prior to 10 o'clock in the morning. But there's no limit to that as far as I can see. So they could be open for selling food and beverages 24/7. I'm wondering if that's the business of this committee to be considering that, and if not, I'm kind of assuming it isn't the business of this committee when we're a licensing board. Who does consider that? Does that have to go to civic licensing if they want the ability to serve food and beverages 24/7?
Thank you. I'll refer to our legal team.
Thank you, Councillor Braes. That isn't a concern of this meeting, nor I don't think it would be a concern of civic licensing either.
Sorry, are you able to?
That's all right. Carry on.
Are you able to give me any guidance? Because I know that we've licensed previously on a different committee, civic licensing. I think we've licensed premises to be open 24/7.
Those would have been later catering licence holders, Councillor Braes.
Right, okay, that's fine. Anyway, it's not for us to consider today. That's the main thing.
Are you quite happy with that response, Kenny?
Yes, well, certainly we don't need to be discussing it today. That's the main thing.
Okay, thank you. Are there any further questions for the applicant from members? I see no hands. And I will move to the LSO. Mr. Leith, I see you've got your bit in there.
Thank you, Convener. Yeah, as highlighted, this premises has been operating on occasional licences, and again, I've not received any concerns or complaints with regards to the premises operating. What I would highlight to the board, though, and it's highlighted in my report, is the on-sales core times. Currently, the premises operates from 9 o'clock till 11 o'clock, which is out with board policy at the minute. However, that's currently in place. It's just to note that they're changing that from 10 till 12 o'clock, which is still out with policy. So just to make you aware of that. Thank you.
Thank you. And we also have environment, health and building standards. Do you want to go with that?
Yeah, thank you, Convener. Yeah, everything spoken about so far is absolutely true. We've been liaising with the applicant's agent over the plans. The occupancy capacities now provided and circulated this morning for the building in the revised operating plan we are comfortable with. That is fine for building standards calculations. The plans have been revised. We're happy with them. The only thing to note would be that they've now applied for a building warrant, and therefore a completion certificate should be accepted prior to any occupancy or use.
Thank you. And environmental health?
Yeah, good morning. Thank you, Convener. I can confirm we have received and accepted a noise management plan for the premises.
Thank you. Are there any questions from members for either the LSO, environmental health or building standards? No, I see no hands. In that case, if I can ask for any comments. No, I see no hands. In that case, if I can ask if you'd like to sum up on your application, please.
Thank you, Convener. I don't think I've got anything else useful to add. I'm happy to commend the application to you on the basis of my submissions already.
Okay, thank you. There's quite a few points within this, so I suggest that we go through these points one by one. Some are slightly more technical than others. So we'll start with number one, the description of premises, amend to read restaurant venue space located in two adjacent to traditional buildings, in a quiet location within Montrose. So are we happy to agree or disagree with that? We agree. Number 2, the core times. Current on-sale hours are Monday to Sunday, 9 till 2300 hours. External is 9 o'clock, 2100. And they want to amend the sales of hours from Monday to Sunday, 10 till midnight, with the external being 21. Are the board happy to agree to that one? Yeah. Number 3, activities. Add dance facilities within and out with core licensing hours. Are the board happy to agree that? Okay. Number 4, activities out with the licensed core hours. Amended to read as you will see within that. Are the board happy to agree to that? Yeah.
Agreed.
Number 5, any other activities amended as per the report? Are members happy to agree to that? Number 6. So for members that are in chamber, you'll have the additional paperwork that was given to you, and members online, it should have been emailed to you specific to children and young persons. So with item number 6, have members had time to read that, or do they need a moment to consider that? They're happy? Okay, so provided the statement with the times during which times children and young persons will allowed entry, which is local children's conditions with the exception of condition of 2 bracket A bracket V shall apply in accordance with activity or services provided on the premises. Are members happy to agree that? Yeah. And then finally on number 7, the capacity to amend from 178 to 670 for on sales. Are members happy to agree that?
Agreed.
Agree. In that case,
sorry. Apologies for jumping in. That capacity figure is the previous one as originally applied for. It's now a lower capacity figure that's shown in the new operating plan.
Perhaps you can confirm that figure, please. They don't have the operating plan.
I understand. The new capacity figure should be 369.
Agreed.
oh, sorry, we're happy. That's all been agreed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. We will now move on to the Glencadam Distillery, Smithfield Road in Brechin. And if I can invite Lauren Oliver and Michael van der Veen to approach, and I believe we have Ian Lockhead joining us remotely. I'll just check. Is Mr.
Lockhead might not be joining until later. He got called away.
Okay, then. That's fine. In that case, I'll ask if you'd like to carry on and just continue with your application. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Glencadam Distillery has been around for 200 years in Brechin and was taken over by family-owned Angus Dundee distillers in 2003. They never really allowed visitors on site or only in very small capacity. They're now looking to change that with the build of the visitor centre, which will allow for a retail outlet, tours and events, and a cafe as well for locals. This is all being built at the moment and nearing completion, much later than expected, but we're looking to get the license extended to cover the visitor centre and allow for on-sales drinks.
Do we wait outside or?
So basically the license, as you received it, is going to allow visitors to come on site for the first time. And we're looking to get permission. No, you're right. Yeah, of course.
Sorry, we're just going to pause for a moment. We've got members of the public coming in, so we'll just give them a moment to come in and settle themselves before we continue.
Thank you.
Okay, apologies, Mr. Van der Veen. If you'd like to continue, thank you.
Quite right. That was it. We're opening a visitor centre, and therefore we want to extend our license.
Wonderful, thank you. In that case, I'd invite any questions from members for the applicant. Do we have any questions? No, I see no hands. In that case, I will move to the Licensing Standards Officer's report. Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Convener. Yeah, just for the board to know, I've made a mistake in my report. I've highlighted that the on-sales times are within policy. You'll see that the applicants requested from 10 till 12, Monday through Thursday and a Sunday, and from 10 till 1 on a Friday and Saturday. The board policy is actually from 11 till 12 on the days in question and 11 till 1 at the weekend. So there's an error there on my report, just to highlight that to the board. Also, worth noting that they've applied for outdoor drinking, and the board may wish to consider the outdoor drinking conditions as per board policy. I think that's the only things worth noting from my perspective, but there is comments from both environmental health and building standards in relation to this report, so I'll pass over to them.
Thank you again. Yeah, you'll see in the papers there are 3 points from building standards. One is, again, a completion certificate should be accepted prior to use. Another one was a query about the occupancy capacity for 3 rooms, which has recently been sent through, and those occupancy capacities are also acceptable. And the third one was to ensure that the occupancy for the outside space was not in addition to the inside space, and that's been confirmed as well. So no further comment from us.
Thank you. And environmental health.
Thank you, Convener. Yes, we have a standard condition for a noise management plan, which has since been received. So no further comment.
Thank you. And we'll just pop over to legal.
Thank you, through yourself, Convener. I just wonder if you can confirm for the board. In your recent email, you provided an updated operating plan, is that correct? Members haven't seen that, so I wonder, firstly, if you can let them know what the changes were. Secondly, you are seeking within the children's conditions, they're just in front of you there, to amend so that children don't have to be having a meal within the premises. Just to confirm, so members are also aware of what they're being asked to grant, is it your position that in terms of 2A1 of this document here, that everything is removed bar the 9 p.m. cut-off?
Yes, so I put, just because of the nature of the place, because it's a visitor centre, it will mainly be operating to families that are travelling, so tourists, so they tend to have younger children with them, and they might be coming to take part in a tour, and the adults, obviously, if they wish, can do a tasting, so the kids would be sort of present within that area. That's sort of what I meant when I put that down. We do have a cafe on site, and again, obviously, if the parents after their tour want to sit and finish their whiskey or something like that, the kids would be present. But yeah, we put a cap on it at 9 p.m. The normal operating hours of the centre won't go past half past 5, but if we potentially maybe have a private function or event or something like that on, we would still ask under 18s to be removed from the premises by the 9 p.m. cut-off. And then the changes to the operating plan, the only changes that were made was the building standards comments for the capacity numbers. Everything else remained the same.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions from members for either the LSO, building standards or environmental health? No, I see no hands. In that case, I can move to comments. Councillor Breeze.
Yes, well, I think that this has been a long-awaited project. Fantastic thing for Brecon. And you know, the fact that families are going to be coming to this, I think it's really sort of enlightened. There's a reason why we license alcohol and things, and fact that if Scotland has a problem with alcohol, it's not because people sit and taste alcohol in a very civilised manner under close supervision with their families. No, a wonderful addition to the offering in Brechin, and I wish them every success.
Thank you. Councillor Clark.
Thank you, Convener, and good morning. Nice to meet you. I would add something. I totally agree with my colleague Councillor Braze there, and I would say that as part of Scotland's tourist trails, these sort of things are so important. And I think he makes a valid comment when he says that we Celts do have, not just Scotland of course, do have issues with alcohol. It's the farther, more remote areas that you live, it tends to be even worse. But that does not mean to say that we can't be civilised around alcohol. I'm a non-drinker myself for many years, but I absolutely want to commend you. I think when you've got bairns around as well and you're teaching them how to be around alcohol in the correct way, that can't be a bad thing. So I would wish you all the very best.
Thank you. Councillor Scott.
Hello, thank you, Convener, and thank you to Mr van der Veer. I just wanted to say how excited I am about this. I would like to know when you're opening. I've been watching progress frequently as I walk around, and I think it's a fabulous thing. It'll create employment and, you know, shows the history of whisky making. So well done. Look forward to opening and wish you all the best.
Thank you. Councillor Nick.
As local councillor, I think this is going to be a great asset to Brechin, and again, it will create employment, and hopefully it will even promote the distillery to a greater extent. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from members? No, I'll add my own one then. It's similar to Councillor Scott. I mean, I walk past it often, most of the time with Councillor Scott, with our dogs, and it has been great to sit and watch the transformation, and it will be a major asset to both Brechin, but also I think the whole of Angus on a whole. So we're quite keen to see it open and operational. With that, I would ask if there's anything you'd like to sum up in response to your application.
No, thanks. We're all keen for it to open as well. We're waiting for the builders to hand over the site, and we're hoping to be open kind of beginning of October. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. In that case, I will take any motions from members, please. Councillor Nicholl.
As a local councillor, I would like it to pass.
Yes, I think we're all in agreement to that. But if you could be slightly more specific in your motion, please.
This project, I pass it.
So, are you happy to the external drinking conditions, the children's conditions, and acknowledge the updated operating plan, noise management plans that were submitted?
Yes, all of the above.
And secondly, I can see Councillor Scott.
Thank you. I'll second that.
Thank you. Any further motions to that? No, in that case then we're happy to grant that licence as per the conditions. Thank you. Thank you. We'll now move on to item C, the Lorne Bar, 17th Commerce Street, Arbroath. We have Mr. Toner attending. If you'd like to come forward and take a seat, please. Okay, thank you. Just before we move on to yourselves, members are requested to first consider whether to accept a late representation from Environmental Health. The applicant was emailed with details of this representation, but before we hear from them, we need to decide as a board if we're happy to accept that. And if I can move to Environment and Health for any explanations as to why it was late, please.
Thank you, Convener. Yes, apologies for the lateness of this representation. There was some additional detail and it involved a couple of different teams to provide this. And as we looked to update our processes, we missed the 21 days just by a few days. So apologies for that.
Okay, thank you. So are members happy to accept that late representation? Yeah, agreed.
Yes.
In that case, Mrs. Anderson will email that all out to you, so we'll give it a few minutes for that to come through and for members to read and take that in before we move to yourselves, okay? Can I just check that members online have received that? No, Councillor Whiteside hasn't got that yet. It's on its way to you. Councillor Scott?
Convener, can I request a quick comfort break whilst and give us time to read what's been sent across?
We can do that. 15 minutes, is that enough for members? 15 minutes? Yeah, we'll recess for 15 minutes.
Meetings adjourned. Could we pause the live stream, please, for 15 minutes?
Okay, thank you everyone for your patience there. If we can move to Mr. Toner, if you'd like to talk us through your application, please, and then just thank you.
Yeah, it's just to put in for the application for the live music for the Lawn Bar. It's not had the live music before, and that's what we're kind of putting in for it.
Anything else you want to add?
Nothing else I can think about, to be honest.
Okay. In that case, I can invite members if there are any questions for the applicant. Councillor Journal.
Right, thanks. Just a few inquiries for Mr. Toner. I actually used to live in the building 40 years ago. I just wondered, Brian, why the kitchen, the things about the kitchen that we've got through about doing food. When I lived there, they used the kitchen upstairs to do food, and it was actually pies and stovies and boxed sandwiches, etc. Is that not a possibility for you to do that now? Is this why you're looking at the kitchen facilities?
Yeah, could still use a kitchen up the stairs. It's just they wanted to try and do a kitchen downstairs, which was originally a storeroom. It was never really a kitchen.
That's good. Thanks for clarifying that, Brian.
Councillor Meakin.
Thank you. Just for clarification, there's two parts to it, if I'm correct. It's ad bar meals and live performances. Is that correct?
No, it's just more bar stacks. You know, hot rolls, pies, stuff like that. Not full meals. Just like a bar stack, toasty rolls and stuff. That's all.
Any other questions from members? Councillor Clark.
Good morning.
Morning.
Just following on from a colleague's comment there, I understand you're no speaking about plated food. That's fine. So the kind of snacks that you've got then, given, as Councillor Dunno asked, because she's got far more knowledge of this place than me.
And me.
So if you're not using the kitchen upstairs and you're using the one down the stairs.
Well, the one downstairs was originally a storeroom.
Right, okay, sorry, the other way about.
One of the last leaseholders put kitchen stuff in, but the downstairs one was always a storeroom for stock. It was never a kitchen.
Okay. So, Chair, I beg your indulgence. So can I just ask then, that food, these sandwiches and maybe filled rolls, would they come in wrappers for people?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. You would know that, would you? That they would definitely come in wrappers.
Yeah.
It's just when we sorry to interrupt.
No, on you go.
It's just when we go to places, if people maybe haven't got the right. I mean, I'm reading here what your problems are, but you could still have food. You know, a packet of crisps, that's not going to kill anybody because it's still closed. So if the food's been brought in from somewhere and it's still got its wrappings on it, I think that's what I'm trying to get at.
All right, yeah.
Can I say something? Sorry. So we are, sorry, if we were to do that, the wrappers would be custom made for that purpose. So they would be, we are looking to hopefully do it from up the stairs, but they would be custom made, the wrappers.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, any further questions for the applicant? No, I see no hands in that case. Sorry, Councillor Speed.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to seek some clarity if that's okay. So in terms of the preparation of the foods, albeit not the hot plated kind of full bar meal type scenario, but bacon rolls, toasties, that type of thing, are you looking to prepare that within the kitchen that was first referenced, that used to be a storeroom, or
no, it would be upstairs in the flat above.
And that's not what's.
That's not what's on there. What's on there was they wanted, because I'm trying to think the last tenant actually done that. Yeah, so when I gave the pub up myself in May of 2019, Jackie Simpson took it over, and when she took it over, that was still a storeroom where all the spirits and the cans get stored. But by the time they'd left, they'd put kitchen units in, worktops and an electric oven, which I thought, this is a storeroom, it's not a kitchen.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for that clarity. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? No. In that case, I'll move to the LSO for his report first.
Thank you, Convener. Yeah, just to add to my report there, you'll note that since coming on as LSO, I've dealt with 3 complaints in relation to this premises, all in relation to noise, excessive music coming from the premises. And this year, or sorry, last year, I visited the premises with a colleague from Environmental Health, and during our investigation, found out that the premises was operating live music without that being on their licence and their operating plan. So, yeah, I've highlighted that to the premises manager and the premise licence holder, and I can see that's why this has come before the board now. So, yeah, just to highlight that, and to highlight that there is comments from Environmental Health. Thank you.
Thank you. If I can invite Environmental Health to come forward, please.
Thank you, Convener. Yeah, our objection is in 2 parts. The first part in relation to noise from the premises, for which the LSO has detailed. To date, we haven't received a noise management plan which would explain how noise would be controlled in the premises going forward, so that remains outstanding. The second part is in relation to the bar meals within the bar snacks or hot food within the premises, and our objection was based on the downstairs facilities that were there. I don't have any information on the upstairs. I don't know if it's within the premises layout and can be considered retrospectively. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Questions from members? Councillor.
Yeah, just a question for building standards. I mean, this building is hundreds of years old, and the building has had music in it before, but obviously the music that came out at Christmas time was a different people that were in it, and they did a karaoke, which was a different kind of music. But on our new building controls, when we look at premises that are going to be having music, and we take into consideration that flats, etc., are round about an area that has music, and can we build the flats there because they will be affected by the music. But in this situation, this pub has been there for hundreds of years before the flats and any buildings round about had occupants. It was always shops. So can this be deemed as different from a new build at the moment? Just a query there. Thank you.
Thank you for the query. A difficult one to answer. The building regulations don't actually cover, like you say, older buildings. If there was a change of use between one property and another, it might take into account noise considerations, and the construction would have to be upgraded. But in a case like this, building standards wouldn't have any input at all.
Councillor Nicholl.
If food's getting prepared for public, would the kitchen need to be inspected prior to going ahead with the preparing of the food?
Thank you, Councillor Nicholl. Yes, all food businesses require to be registered 28 days prior to operation, and within then they fall into a risk-based inspection programme, and that risk increases when you introduce raw food, ready-to-eat food, food made to order preparation. There's a whole matrix of things, but the fundamentals are you need an appropriate structure that meets the regulations, with easy to clean surfaces, walls and floors, suitable ventilation and hand washing facilities as bare minimum.
Thank you. Any further questions from members? Councillor Clark.
Chair, I'm maybe being a wee bit pedantic, but the day I think I kind of need to be. I alluded earlier to covered food, so I'll just stick to that one, because there is a vast difference between possibly somebody getting in covered food that's not being touched by the people that are getting it, it's been prepared elsewhere and brought on the premises and then being distributed from. So I need to be really clear. Is there going to be a member of staff here although we mentioned this, it's not plated, so I'm not getting confused with that. But is anybody in this building going to be actually touching food? Touching
Only
it properly?
if it's prepared up the stairs, whoever's cooking or preparing it would be the only person. It would be packaged upstairs, or wherever it's being prepared or cooked. It would be just the only person doing that. Then it would go down the stairs into cabinets, hot food cabinets or fridges, whatever, depending on what the food is.
Which is what we see elsewhere. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm being a bit laborious about it, but I'm just trying to get to the bottom of things. Thanks very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Councillor Whiteside, I saw she had her hand up. I think she's dropped off.
Sorry, can I say something about the music licence as well? We had someone or two you guys up to look around, and for the noise and environmental, the whole thing, we did close. There's two entrances to the building. We did close one entrance, and the guys, we went outside. There was no noise at all coming outside or from the other entrance. That is, if we are permitted to play live music, then that entrance will be closed. It would be the back entrance that would be kept open at all times, and there's no music coming from there. You can't hear anything.
Thank you. Did anyone else have any other questions? I did see Councillor Whiteside's hand up, but she appears to have dropped off. Councillor Speed.
Yeah, thank you. I think that there's obviously two things here. There's the noise part, and then there's the food preparation part in the kitchen. I'm probably anticipating that the noise part is maybe a little bit easier kind of to deal with when we make our consideration of the recommendations. However, I just want to seek a little bit more advice and clarity with regards to, given that what we have in front of us is based on an inspection of the downstairs kitchen and not of the upstairs kitchen, which is where the food would be being prepped. Can just get a bit of clarity and advice as to how we can perhaps resolve this kind of situation to help inform what we decide in terms of the recommendations before us. Is there a way that we can build that in so that we can support, obviously, the business as to progress with their application based on what we know?
Refer to the
Thank you very much, Councillor Speed. I have to admit to being slightly confused myself as to exactly what is before the board now. The application that they have is for, excuse me a moment, I've got too many things open, is to add bar meals and live performances within core licensing hours. We don't have, as a board currently sitting, a copy of the layout plan. Can you confirm what's on your layout plan at the moment? What is included? Is the kitchen upstairs included in your layout plan?
No, the kitchen upstairs is part of the upstairs flat. Right. That's not that. The layout plan is the bar, a little bit snug at the back, toilets, and basically that storeroom that has been converted to a kitchen, which isn't a kitchen.
Okay. So my understanding.
And obviously cellar at the back.
Okay. So my understanding, therefore, is that the board can only make decisions with regard to the layout as it currently is. So what you're asking the board today is to add bar meals, live performances for the kitchen downstairs.
Well, I would maybe scrub the bar meals and maybe do something later about putting in to get the upstairs used.
Okay, so do you want to drop the request to the board for bar meals, and all you would like them to focus on is the live performances? And just with regard to the live performances, do you have a noise management plan that is available?
Not on me, no.
Okay. And would that be something that you could do?
Yeah, I could. Yeah. I'd have to also get some sort of equipment to see how many decibels comes out of the place, basically.
Hopefully that helps a little bit, members, with regard to clarity.
But the two gentlemen who originally came to visit us, we did as I say, we did close one of the entrances. They did witness that there was no music coming out of the back entrance. I don't know if that helps us any, but...
Absolutely, everything helps for the board.
Thank you. Councillor Whiteside.
Thanks, convener. It was just actually to say that I've been having connection issues. I've dropped off a couple of times during this item, so I'll not take part in the decision making on this particular item. I may have to move location if this doesn't improve. Thanks.
Okay, thanks for letting us know. Appreciate that. Yeah, we'll go back to the LSO.
Thank you. The board should just note in relation to conditions that have been requested by Environmental Health, they've asked for no music to be provided in external areas and no amplified sound should be provided anywhere within the licensed premises with the intention of being heard in external drinking areas. The board should note that's not part of the application. There's no application to add external drinking, and external drinking isn't currently on the premise licence as it stands at the minute. So just to make you aware of that. Thank you.
Members, I actually have the layout plan that's just been sent to me. I wonder if that would be helpful to send round.
Yeah. Councillor Meekin.
The layout plan will be helpful, but given that the food has now been dropped, will that help us? Because we're only now considering the music, isn't it?
Just with regard to what Mr. Leith just said about outside areas and it's for clarity, I think it probably will help everybody. Just to note, members, in terms of the options available to you today, one of them is to defer, if that's something that, for any reason that you think might be considered today.
Have members received the layout plans?
No.
Members online, have you received the layout plan by email from? Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, I think everyone's received that now. So if I can ask if we move to comments now from members, please. Councillor Durno.
Yeah, just a wee bit of clarification on the noise issues. There's always been some sort of music in this premises, whether it's been a TV or a background, cassette, but well, years ago, cassettes being played, etc. There's always been some kind of music in this building. And obviously you've got Wetherspoons next door as well, which has quite a lot of people coming and going. There's always a bit of buzz about the place. I think the issues with this pub came about because of a new person and decided to jazz it up a wee bit and have a karaoke over Christmas to try and boost sales, etc., which was out of the norm for this establishment. So I think that has to be taken into consideration. That it's not the norm for this karaoke activity. And if it's any help, I used to sleep in the bedroom above the bar and I managed to sleep perfectly well when the music was going on. So if that's any help to you, then I certainly don't have a problem with this establishment. It's well run. you know, in the area. We don't have any police problems or anything like that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from members? No, I see no hands. In that case, Mr. Troner, I'd ask if you'd like to sum up for your application, please, before we go to decisions. If you choose to.
I'm not sure what you mean by sum up.
Just summarise what you've heard, comments, questions from members, if there's anything remain to say in regards to your application before we move to decisions.
Well, like you say, for noise pollution. Obviously, like I said, I'd have to crank up the music in the place and get some sort of decibel reader to find out what noise is coming out, and shut the doors obviously and check. But
okay,
most of the live music for theirs, it's not like every single week. It's like occasional, type things.
In that case, can I ask that we go for motions from members, please? Councillor Meehan.
I would move that we defer this application for a variation to the next board, given that there's enough time to allow the applicant to actually seek some advice. Clearly, there's a request for a noise management plan. It hasn't been provided. So I think maybe a bit of advice would allow the applicant to get that. I'm quite happy that the food thing has been dropped, so it doesn't need considered now, but that would be my motion.
Thank you. Councillor Braze.
Yes, well, I would be happy to second Councillor Meehan's motion there. I just don't feel I have enough information, the information I need to be able to make a decision on this at this moment. So happy to second deferral. I would wonder though, if we're going to defer, might that give the applicant time to sort out his food application, and so that might be dealt with when we do consider this again?
We can certainly ask that question. Just before I'll come to Councillor Clark, she also had her hand up.
Yes, Convener. We've kind of majored on certain areas this morning, certainly me asking searing questions, and I do think I was getting to the stage asking for a deferral because I think it's helpful to us, but it is helpful to the applicant as well, because I think what Councillor Brace has just said and Councillor Meehan intimated that, we are here to help people get to a position where they have a good outcome, the best outcome. So I think that would be the best outcome for you. So you could go, certainly on your plan for the noise management, you've already spoken to what you might do, get some help on that. And if there's a chance of being able to get the whole thing clarified around the kind of food we've spoken about, then you should try that and see. That's not me giving you advice, it's simply that would, maybe the time lapse would help everybody. That's Convener.
Thank you. Are there any further motions? If not, the motion put forward was to defer, seconded by Councillor Brace. Are members in agreement of that? Agreed. So the decision has been made that we're going to defer your application because I think, as some have said, and including myself, there seems to be quite a lot of confusion around your application, and I think perhaps you're maybe slightly confused about some of it yourself. It's not the most easy thing to navigate through the licensing. So our next meeting is the 25th of September. However, the papers must be publicly released 2 weeks prior to that. Would that give you enough time to sort out all the issues that you have, take further advice, or do you want to put it back? That's entirely up to you, but because there isn't all that much time. But if you think that's enough, then fine, because we don't want to bring you back for it to then be deferred or refused. We kind of want to work with you on that. So, okay. Thank you. Okay, in that case, we'll move now on to the Glen Clover. Sorry, Councillor Durno, I see your hands up.
Yeah, sorry, convener. It was just to say, can the premises stay open if they have no music or no food at the moment, as there's a music festival going on this weekend in Arbroath, or does the premises have to be closed for that?
Councillor Dunno, there's an active premises licence. This was just a variation
Right,
to
that's
that.
fine.
So
That's
just for
great.
noting.
Yeah, thank you, Tina. I just wanted to make sure that the building wasn't closed this weekend.
It will be closed, but there isn't facility to have music.
That's okay. Thanks very much for that. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move on to the Glen Clover Hotel, Glen Clover, Kirriemuir, and we have Leslie MacArthur attending us remotely. Can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear. Yes, thank you.
Lovely, thank you. In that case, if I can ask you to give a talk to your application for members, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hello, everybody. The Glen Clover Hotel, we have been in business and been owned by the same family since 1922. Just got the owners have just gone down the generations, so it is a family-run business. We've run weddings and events and had various guests from home and abroad over the years and had a license for the hotel with no issues. We have created a new function area to give a better area for weddings and events to happen, and this will also allow us to serve other day visitors to the area. The function space will be the same times as the existing licence time and operating plans, due to already hosting weddings within the existing licence premises. This new area will only be used for functions and events and not for walk-in customers, and will be run by the same management and staff, with hiring of occasional qualified agency staff if required. All the information has been sent to the council several weeks ago. Building control have been up to see us during the process, and all information requested has been sent, and we have provided the noise management report, and happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you for that. Members, just before we go to questions, with regards to the capacity, so as per the report, the figures are slightly incorrect. An email was received clarifying that the total premises capacity is 270, which includes staff at 10, resident rooms 20, function suites 30, climbers bar 15, the new barn 170, outside 15, and pool room 10. Are there any questions for the applicant from members? No, I see no hands. In that case, we'll move to LSO. Have you got anything for that one?
Thank you, convener. No, there's nothing further to add to report on this one. Thanks.
Thank you. Building standards.
Thank you, convener. Yes, our comment still stands. It's similar to other cases today. There's no completion certificate currently accepted, so the function suite itself shouldn't be used until it is accepted.
Thank you. And environmental health.
Thank you, convener. I can confirm we have received and accepted a noise management plan for the premises.
Thank you. Do any members have questions for either the LSO, building standards, or environmental health? No, I see no hands. In that case, can I invite any comments from members? Councillor Meehan.
Thank you very much, convener. I mean, I would like to say that this addition to the Clover Hotel is a very welcome addition as far as I'm concerned. It'll increase the capacity of the venue and will clearly enhance the experience of the visitors to Clover. I would support the variation request. Thank you.
Thank you, members. No, in that case, if I can move back to the applicant, if you'd like to sum up, then that would be lovely. Thank you.
Just to say, thank you for your time. This is an exciting time for us, and we look forward to working with the council in the future. And thank you very much for your time.
Great, thank you very much. In that case, can I invite any motions from members? Councillor Meehan.
Thank you, convener. I would move that the application is granted, subject to any conditions that might be required.
Councillor Clark.
Yes, for reasoned earlier, yes, I'd be happy to do this. And given what our building standards officer says, that's everybody complying with things, then we're fine. Thanks very much and all the very best.
Thank you. Anyone else? Any further motions? No. Are the board happy to agree?
Agreed.
Great. Lovely. Thank you. So that's been granted, subject to the
Thank you very
conditions.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now move on to the Old Boatyard Restaurant, Fish Market Quay, Arbroath. And again, Mr. Marcy is attending online. Can you hear us all down there?
Yeah, good morning, everyone.
Wonderful. A little bit quiet. If you might be able to sort of speak up a little, just make sure everyone can hear you. And if you'd like to talk to your application, thank you.
Is that any better?
Much better, thank you.
Okay, brilliant. Okay. So thanks, everyone. So the Old Boatyard and the Harbour Visitor Centre are in their 19th year now. And this is just a variation to bring Sunday trading in line with the other days. It satisfies a need from many tourists now, especially European tourists who have early lunches, and rather than Sunday being 12:30, we'd like to just bring it in line with the other days at 11 a.m.
Thank you very much. Any questions from members? No, I see no hands. Are there any comments from the LSO Building Standards and Environmental Health?
No further comments.
Thank you. Any questions for officers from members? No, I see no hands. Any comments? Councillor Durno?
Yeah, I welcome this application. Very well run premises, and I think that'll be a great asset to the building to be able to do this at this time. The new opening times would be good. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Speed.
Yep, thank you. Yeah, I just would echo Councillor Durno's comments. An excellent establishment, well run, and yeah, a great kind of tourist attraction as well. So I'd welcome us moving to support this.
Thank you. Any further comments? Councillor Braze.
Yes. Well, there was a reason why Sunday was different to other days of the week in licensing terms. But I think society's moved on a great deal since then, and you know, we live in a 7-day-a-week society, and I don't really think there's any reason why they shouldn't open at the same time as they do the other 6 days of the week. So very supportive.
Thank you. Any other comments? No. In that case, if I can ask Mr. Macari if you'd like to take the opportunity to sum up, should you wish?
Yeah, no, nothing to add really. But thanks for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. In that case, I invite motions from members. Councillor Speed.
Yep, I just would propose that we move to grant this application.
Thank you. And seconding, Councillor Louise Nicholl. Anything else from members? No. In that case, if we're in agreement, the application is granted. Thank you. We'll now move to Sam's Store, 10 Ponder Law Street, Arbroath. And we have a gentleman here, if you'd like to just come forward. Apologies, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce your surname, if you'd enlighten me. And how would I pronounce that? Mr. Kandaruban, if you'd like to talk to your application, you're welcome to do so. Just make sure you turn on the mic, please. Thank you. Is there anything you'd like to say in support of your application, to explain to members? Are you happy with the conditions of the home delivery service?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Are there any questions from members with regards to this application? Nope. Do we have anything from the LSO Building Standards and Environmental Health?
Nothing from me as LSO, thanks.
Thank you. Any comments from members? No. you have the opportunity to sum up? There are no questions or comments from members. Is there anything else you'd like to say? You don't have to, but... Okay, if I can invite motions from members then, please. Councillor Meehan.
This appears to be a fairly simple application. I would move that we grant the application, subject to any conditions.
Thank you. And Councillor Clark.
And amen to that. Mr. Cantharavan, very well done in today's age where this sort of thing is absolutely prevalent. People enjoy it. Just keep up your good standards that I dare say you have, and the food will be welcome. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Anything else from members? Are they happy to agree? Agree? Thank you. You're free to go. Thank you. Thank you. We now move on to Arbroath Football Club, Gayfield Stadium, Dundee Road, Arbroath. We have Lynn Simpson, who is here. And also note that there has been an amended layout plan which has been sent out to members. Thank you. If you'd like to talk to this application, thank you.
Thank you, Convener. Good morning, everyone. We're just hit afternoon, just 12 o'clock. I'm joined by Paul Reid, who is the Chief Executive of Arbroath Football Club. Your Honours will no doubt be familiar with the football club, if not the ground itself. This is a major variation application in respect of Gayfield Park. The main purpose is to add a new function space to the premises licence. The new space, which is called the Tunnel Suite, is on the ground floor of the main stand. It's a relatively small space with a capacity of just 25 people. The suite will primarily be used for matchday hospitality, but in the same way as the other existing function areas within the stadium, it may also be used for other events outside of matchdays as well. As part of the process of preparing that, we also conducted a bit of a health check on the licence to make sure it was fit for purpose. So the remainder of the changes that we're asking for have essentially come out of that health check. There are quite a few elements to it, so if you bear with me, I'll take you through what we're asking. I'm conscious you've had a long morning, so I'll try and be as brief as I can. We're amending the wording for seasonal variations just to cover any general extensions that might be granted. We're adding bar meals as a permitted activity during and out with core hours. The premises licence already permits restaurant facilities, but there will be occasions where it's not a full sit-down meal, so we wanted to add bar meals as well, just to make sure that we were absolutely covered. We're amending the wording in the two boxes at question 5 of the operating plan, really just to make sure the licence is sufficiently flexible to cover the type of events that might happen in the function suites, particularly when they're being used for private bookings. We're also tidying up the wording in question 6 with regards to access by children and young persons, primarily to make sure there's no ambiguity on what is required. The previous wording wasn't entirely clear. Essentially, what we're asking for is that children and young persons will require to be accompanied by an adult within the function suites, will be permitted access until 11 p.m. or until the end of licensed hours when attending a pre-booked function. We're increasing the on-sales capacity from 216 persons to 291. That is partly because of the addition of the new tunnel suite, and the rest of the increase relates to an area called the boardroom suite on the first floor. We think that was omitted in error from the previous layout plan, so we're essentially correcting that now to include that boardroom suite within the licensed area, and that's an additional 50 persons to the overall capacity to accommodate that. And finally, we're also tidying up the description on the premises licence. I'm conscious that you'll come to the comments, but if I can just preempt that and address them now. We're happy to accept the conditions that Environmental Health have proposed with regards to hand washing facilities and facilities for cleaning utensils and equipment. I'm grateful to Building Standards for chatting with me last week to talk through their queries. and also grateful for their clarification that a building warrant is required for some of the works. The club have engaged with an architect. That is in the works. If it hasn't already been submitted, it will be very soon. So we are on that and grateful for that support. I think I was able to deal with all of Lee's other queries, but say grateful for that help. There's no objections to the application, so subject to any questions, I would ask you to grant. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions from members? Councillor Speed.
Yep, thank you. Just wondered if you could provide clarity, and apologies if this is actually one for building standards, but it was just with regards to the potential withdrawal of the female WC to accommodate the tunnel suite. Is that going to then be built in elsewhere?
I can clarify that. That was quite simply a misunderstanding.
Okay.
I think the toilet that Building Standards thought had been removed, it was just the way it was shown on the plan, that wasn't being removed. We've actually, the updated layout plan that was sent actually includes more toilets. So that's not an issue.
That's good, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from members? No, see no hands. In that case, we'll move to LSO, Environment, Health and Building Standards.
Thank you, Convener. I've got nothing further to add to the report.
Thank you. Environmental Health.
Thank you, Convener. Nothing further to add.
Thank you. And Building Standards.
Yeah, thank you. Just to confirm, a building warrant is required for the sanitary facilities, which are new, and the sanitary facility has not been removed. So that's all our comments.
Thank you. Any questions from officers, from members? No. Any comments? Councillor Speed.
Yeah, I think, Arbroath FC are doing like incredible things on the park and off the park within the community. Was particularly keen just to seek clarity on that with regards to the female WC, because the female team are doing incredibly well too. So it's great that we've actually got just this big whole family of football and supporters within the town. So I'd be happy to move that we support that.
Thank you. Councillor Braze.
Yes, well, I have a lot of admiration for what's going on at Arbroath as they reinforce their community-based approach to all things that go on at Gayfield. And, it's all there for families now. And that should be reflected, I think, in licensing too. When I attend Gayfield, I'm always there supporting my team, Montrose. And anything I happen to shout from the terraces in the heat of a match, and any reference I make to Smokies might be viewed in that context. So I really hope you're going to be selling Smokies in the restaurant there, because I might well be tempted to put a wee bit of money in your bill on them next time.
Thank you. Any further comments from members? Councillor Clark.
It's going to be, please indulge me, I'm just going to be slightly facetious. Could we maybe have a site visit so we can all get some Smokies?
Thank you. And if there are no further comments, then I will move to the applicant if you'd like to sum up, should you wish to. Thank you.
No, nothing else for me to say.
Thank you. If I can invite motions from members. Councillor Speed.
I'd be happy to move the motion that we agree this application.
And to second. Councillor Louise Nicholl.
And
does that include the extra?
Just including, the extra condition. The conditions that are there before us.
Anything else from members, or are we happy to agree? Agreed? It's been agreed. Thank you very much and good luck. Thank you. Okay, members, if we now move on to agenda item number 8, personal licences penalties, delegated approvals. This is report LB 3025. Members will have read this. Are we happy to agree? Thank you. Item number 9, occasional licences, delegate approvals, report number LB 3125. Again, this is looking for us to approve. Are we agreed? Yes. Item number 10, premises licences, minor variations, delegated approvals. Again, report number LB3225. Are we happy to agree these?
Agreed.
Agreed. Item 11, premises licences under the Licensing Scotland Act 2005, licences surrendered. Report number LB3325. Are we happy to agree?
Agreed.
Thank you. Item 12, confirmation of provisional premises licences, delegated approvals. Again, report LB3425. Are we happy to agree these?
Agreed.
And finally, item number 13, the timetable of meetings for 25-26. You'll see details in the papers there, the times for those changes. Are we happy to agree that?
Agreed.
Agreed. Thank you very much, everyone.
Sarah, that concludes Angus Licensing Board, so if you could stop the stream for